babaláwo wọ̀ mọ́ṣẹ́ ọṣẹ tó fún wọn ṣiṣẹ́ ẹ̀rí iṣẹ́ ọlọ́run ẹ̀ wọṣẹ́ arónípin ẹ̀kú iṣẹ́.
Hello everyone, and today I'll be quick on this. We want to talk about how to export your project as stems in FL Studio. But before we go on, please subscribe to our channel, click on the notification bell so whenever we post videos like this, you get notified. Remember to like this video, comment, and even share to your friends. So you have a project you want to send to another studio or to mixing engineer for mixing and mastering. If you save this project as FL and the engineer that is to mix this project does not use FL Studio, so how is it going to work on it? If you use Cubase and you save your project as Cubase project, when you send it to the engineer for mixing, if the engineer uses Pro Tools, how is it going to work on the Cubase project you sent? So because we engineers have our preferred DAW when it comes to mixing and mastering, you might be using Pro Tools, another might be using Logic, I might be using Cubase, and someone else might be using FL Studio. So we came up with stems. It's like a universal method that we use to transfer data from one studio to the other, from one engineer to another engineer. You export each of your channel as wave at the minimum sample rate of 48 kilowatts for studio quality and probably 24-bit, 32-bit float, or even up to 64-bit flow. So when you export all these channels individually, then you can zip them. By zipping them, it has been compressed, hereby reducing the size and preparing it as a file that can be sent to the other engineer. And when it gets to the other engineer, the engineer can now unzip to get the proper waves that you have sent. Mind you, there are some information you need to send along with these stems to make it easy for the engineer to actually understand what you have sent and really give you the best you want. One of the information, and the very most important one, is the sample rate which you have export those stems. Have you export the stems in 48 kilowatts, in 88, in 96 kilowatts, or even 192 kilowatts? You have to state this in a notepad or even include it in the file name of the stem zip file you are sending over. Number 2 important thing you have to send is the tempo information. Number 3, you have to ensure that all the stems file has meaningful name, not audio 01, audio 02, BB112, no. Drums, lead vocal, backup 1, backup 2, pad, guitar 1, guitar 2, all these names are better than just putting a random name or not even naming your track at all. So to export this project as stems, the first thing we need to do is to ensure that all our channels are properly named. So I will click on the first channel select and drag downward to cover the channels available in my project. Then, because all these patterns are properly named, I can just right click on any of these channels and select auto name. Then the name from the pattern clips will be extracted on the channels. If you have different elements going on each channel, then you will have to manually rename all this. Right click, click on rename, and manually type the name of the channel. Now that we have named all our channels, the next thing we have to do is click on this playlist option, this drop down arrow just by the left top corner. Then we go to tools and then to export all playlist tracks. Then from song start. This will export each of the channels separately and prepare them in a folder. Now let's select from song start. Then you are asked where you want to render all the stems to. Let's pick the desktop and create a folder. Let's call it Body Stems, since the title of the song is Body. Okay, you can include the sample rate information and the tempo information. The tempo is 165 BPM and the sample rate I'm exporting is 48 kilohertz. Okay, so when the engineer sees this, he already has the information that he needs. He will just simply enter the tempo into his own DAW, set the sample rate, then drag all your stem files in his own DAW and start mixing. Since we have properly named our folder, then we double click on it and select that folder to be used. The next thing that comes up is the rendering option. Now we are rendering as wave, and it's good to leave remainder in case of any effect causing tail. Mind you, you should be exporting all these waves as dry, which means any effect you have used in your project should be disabled before you start exporting as stems. So the wave bit depth we are exporting is 24 bit. Let the quality be at the maximum 512. Leave the rest of the options the same and then select start. So by the time we are done, we will have all our wave files as stems, the bass, fills, guitar, pad, and everything that we have in our project. Okay, then we can select all these wave stems, right click on it and zip them together. When we create a zip of this, and this is the actual file we are sending to the engineer, what the engineer does is to extract this file onto his own system and then use them. Now another reason you need to zip is that the total file size of this, which is 156, will actually be reduced to 41.5 megabyte. So from 156 megabyte, now you are having it as a zip 41.5 megabyte. This has drastically reduced the size and retaining the same content. Thank you for staying tuned to the end of the lecture. We would like to read from you in the comment box. If this video has been impactful, please subscribe to our channel, click on the notification bell so you get notified whenever we drop another video like this. Stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day.
Má lọ bínú orí adé ọ̀rẹ́ mi ti jà kọ́. Ṣé you want to know?